Hey! You are listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? Got to take care of a few things before we jump into this week's episode. First, our Ramping Isometrics for BJJ program. It is a 12-week program, all laid out for you. It's going to help you build strength and cardio in the fastest, safest, and most convenient way possible. This is how James and I have been training for the past year, and we love it. So we put this program together so you can just follow along, and we are certain you will see and feel the benefits that we do. It's only $15. Just go to grumpyguybjj.com, click the drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner, and you'll find it. Next, R3. This is our K2 D3 supplement. It is a combination of those two vitamins, D3 and K2. These are two vitamins that James and I have been taking for a long time that really help us recover from hard training sessions. And for only $15 with free shipping, you get a whole month's supply. I was going to pull up some studies explaining the benefits of D3 and K2, but I'm not going to insult your intelligence and pretend to be a fucking scientist. I take it. It helps me recover. That's it. So for $15, check it out. And last but certainly not least, we have partnered up with Jiu-Jitsu.com. They have a ton of awesome BJJ instructionals, and they have hooked us up with a discount code for our listeners. It's Grumpy10. So what you got to do is you go to Jiu-Jitsu.com, which is DIGITSU.com. Find the instructionals you want, throw them in a shopping cart. In the little discount code box, you type in Grumpy10, which is just GRUMPY and the number 10. 10. That's it. No spaces. Boom. You get 10% off. You're up and running. They got a nice app you can download on your phone. That way you can take your instructionals right to the gym with you, watch the technique, drill it. It's a pretty sweet setup. So once again, DIGITSU.com. Discount code Grumpy10, GRUMPY10. Simple as that. To find all this stuff I just got done talking about, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com. Click the drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner. There, you'll subscribe to our newsletter for podcast updates. You'll find links for the Ramping Isos program, the R3 Recovery Supplement, and then under the Programs and Products tab, you'll find a link to Jiu-Jitsu.com. And let's be honest, if you guys can't figure out how to navigate a website by now, there's nothing I can do to help you. So quit fucking around, check it out, train hard, and let's get into this week's episode. And boom. We are back.
We're
back. Tuesday morning.
Yeah, kind of an oddball Tuesday morning.
Super rare Tuesday morning. Pre-work, preschool.
Preschool, pre-work.
Podcast. So, yeah, yesterday was Z's
birthday.
Yeah, how old are you?
7.
You're 7 now.
Hey, getting old, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had a good birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Got all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things you got was some new Pokemon cards, huh?
Yeah, which I'm going to share my favorite one. It's a Vileplume GX. It evolves from Gloom. Gloom is its second stage. It has 240 hit points. It's a grass type. And its attacks are Fragrant Flower Garden. It says, once during your turn before your attack, you may heal 30 damage from each of your Pokemon. And then it has Massive Bloom, 80 minus damage. This attack does 10 less damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And Allergic Explosion GX, 50 damage.
That sounds like a fucking horrible sneeze.
And it says, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned, paralyzed, and poisoned.
Wow. Jeez. That sounds like a bad day.
And its weakness is fire types.
I would guess so as a grass type.
Mm-hmm. And it's rare.
Cool. All right.
And Vileplume is just like a big flower.
He is a big flower. It's not super exciting, but he's got some good attacks. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How many hit points does he have? 240?
Yeah.
That's a lot of hit points.
Yeah. But my Dragonite GX still has more, 270.
He's still the king.
Yep.
Long live the king. All right, man. Well, you got to finish getting ready for school. You got a birthday party on Saturday still with your friends. You're gonna get more stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I got you a new snow shovel.
No,
Yep.
you didn't.
You don't want a snow shovel for your birthday? I still think that's an awesome birthday gift, dude.
I do not want.
You know how much money you could earn with a snow shovel?
What if I put like a Pokemon face on the shovel?
And then you could go around all the neighborhoods and say, "Look,
You can earn money with a Pokemon shovel.
I would still not want. I would still not want that shovel, even if you put a Pokemon face.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see if I can take it back.
dude, tell Uncle Rob how much money you got now."
I got $137.
Dang, dude.
I know. You chill out with your cards on the feet, man. It's not-
You offering any loans?
No.
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 Okay.
What are you saving up for?
Watch.
Watch that does what?
Calls people.
Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
This is how the conversation went yesterday. All of a sudden, out of the blue, he's like, "I'm saving up for a watch that calls people." I'm like, "What? We've never heard of this before." He's like, "Yeah, I think it costs $300. My buddy Jonathan was telling me." I'm like, "What? A watch that calls people?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want a watch that calls people." I'm like, "Who are you gonna call?" And without hesitation, Ghostbusters. I was like, "Yes."
That's good,
I've
dude.
trained him well.
Timing is getting much better with the comedy.
Yes. So anyways, I'm still not sure what he wants a $300 watch that calls people for at 7 years old without a phone number of his own. And any friends that have a phone number?
Dad,
Huh.
I would call you and Mom.
Yeah. Well, you can, we're here. You don't need a phone.
No, at school.
That seems like a problem.
At recess.
At recess?
It seems like they might frown on that at school.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
guessing.
So. Alright, man, we need to get ready for school.
Okay.
See you, dude.
Give me a kiss.
Okay.
Have a good day at school.
Okay.
Have
I'm
fun,
just
dude.
showing you one more of my favorites.
That's cool.
Hi, brawler.
Alright, buddy.
Yeah.
Bye.
Later.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, huh?
Ghostbusters, man, that was funny.
That's hilarious.
I was like, I wasn't even like setting it up. Like, I was really like, dude, you're 7 years old. Who are you gonna call?
Who are you calling?
Ghostbusters. Fuck, what do you say to that?
I'm surprised he knows the Ghostbusters.
Oh man, we watched it.
The original?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. It's funny. It's not like, I don't know if we watched the whole thing. You know, it's one of those like you're flipping around the channels and you're like, oh, there's Ghostbusters, and we'll kill like half an hour or whatever watching whatever part of it. That's the Wilson way to watch a movie. You don't watch the whole fucking thing from beginning to end. You watch it in pieces. Preferably the last 3 quarters and then the first quarter. Like that's the
order.
That's
also?
the order. Yeah, you come in a little late on the movie, so you don't actually see the beginning. I mean, you see the rest of it, and you can kind of backfill in. You kind of know what happened, but then later, while you're watching,
There's a level
"Oh."
of added suspense to that, because then you can guess what the beginning would be like,
Yeah.
and then you can go back and watch it
Yeah.
and see if you were right in your guess.
Yeah. Well, it's not on purpose. I'm not doing it on
Right,
purpose. It's
right.
obviously just like some weird habit
Circumstance.
that we have. But yeah, it's funny. It's happened enough where even like Shiloh will comment on like, oh yeah, this is how we usually watch a movie, like last half and then first half. So A to B is boring.
Speaking of, you guys don't have time to watch a lot of shows, I'm going to suggest one that you probably won't ever watch, but it's worth it. Is the Aaron Hernandez documentary on Netflix?
Yeah. I'd watch that one.
That's good, dude.
I'd be interested in checking that one
It's
out.
really interesting.
Yeah. That was,
I mean, I didn't know much. I mean, I knew he was a pro football player
yeah.
that...
I didn't know a whole lot about it.
You know, they got
Him
convicted
being
of murder and
Yeah.
then killed himself. I mean, I knew the big bullet points. I didn't know. I didn't know.
I forgot he killed himself.
He killed himself in jail,
Yeah.
and I didn't know any of the details. I just, okay. And so I wasn't super interested in it, but I heard a few other people talking about it. So I was like, I'll check it out. And last weekend I was just kind of in recovery mode, resting, dealing with this cough and whatever I got going on. And so I put it on, and I ended up like kind of almost binge watching it. Dude, it was good. It draws you right in.
Yeah.
There's a lot to that story.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, that's right. I'm thinking back, I forgot. That was some crazy shit. Like he just basically was like a gangster.
Yeah, and the way, I mean, at the time they didn't know this, but as you backfill everything in, like from the time what murders did he get convicted of? I think he got convicted of the one killing his friend.
Yeah.
The drive-by to where he pulled up alongside the car and shot 2 guys. I'm not sure if he ever got convicted of that one. No, he got found not guilty on that one. But anyways, it still kind of seems like he did it, from the evidence I saw.
Right, yeah.
And it appears, like, the timeline, like, within a few days, like, he went and killed those 2 guys, and then, like, a week or 2 later signed a 5-year, $40 million contract with the New England Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
So he's just living, like, these dual lives.
Yeah,
he's doing drive-bys and then signing a $40 million contract.
Yeah,
like,
fucking shooting people over drug deals and then, like, going and playing on Sunday and high-fiving Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that was the thing. Him and Gronkowski, that was... he didn't just play for anyone. He played for fucking the New England Patriots.
Right.
And, like, at the time, I remember that because him and Rob Gronkowski together were like, what the fuck? How do you stop this, duo?
Right.
And they were like, all pumped. That's why he got that big contract, because they were the future. Like, those 2 guys together with Tom Brady was the future of what was going to happen with that franchise on the offensive side. And then, you're like, wait a minute, dude, this dude is a gangster, just straight up doing gangster shit. Bye. All right, family.
Bye.
See you, Wilsons.
Farewell. See you, Rob.
Love you, dude.
Bye,
Victoria.
Have fun at school.
All right. I'll see you later, Shiloh.
See ya.
I got daddy-daughter hangout day with her, so I go pick her up every other week.
Oh, nice.
And then we hang out and do something.
Yeah, any plans for that for today? Or
no? Half the time I'll just go to Barnes & Noble and get a coffee and walk around, look at books, and laugh at shit.
Nice.
Dude, I show you? Hold on, I'm gonna grab my phone. So you gotta entertain them by yourself for half a second.
Oh man, a monologue?
Yeah,
I don't even know what I'm gonna talk about. I think it's just gonna be dead air.
Oh, look at that, man. I didn't leave you hanging for too long.
That's good, because it was gonna be dead air.
Alright. So. Somehow, oh God.
Oh.
So, I got to get this first thing, and then I'll tell you the second thing, and then I'll show you the first thing. All right. So somehow I'm looking for this picture I wanted to show you. This message pops up, and my buddy Dr. Nick, my chiropractor workout buddy, he's dating this girl who apparently is like a social media influencer. Thank you. Yeah, something, man. Something. Okay. I hate that fucking word.
But it's a word.
It's a word, man. It's the weakest of all fucking forms of, like, in my mind, if you're a fucking social media influencer, it's like that's like the lowest form of having some sort of impact on people.
I think it would rival a life coach.
They're the same goddamn thing.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
She's a life coach too. Why would you say that, man? Why would you?
Yes.
For
job titles?
No, dude. There's definitely this weird, like, that's not a real job and that's not a real thing being a social media influencer. It's like they made up this whole little subcategory for themselves because they couldn't actually do the real thing, which is achieve great shit to fucking inspire people and then fucking be some sort of an authority on it. Like, not just like, oh, hey, happy times, fucking...
Yeah, the way I see social media influencers, it's because they don't have a title, because they haven't achieved anything else.
Yes.
But they have this facade of excelling at something.
Yes.
And so they dupe all these other fucking dummies, all these momos into believing. They instead of actually achieving something and then sharing their knowledge, they put on the show like they've achieved something. Yeah, that's what when I hear influencer, that's what I...
Yeah, that's what I think too. Because, like, I don't think of, like, I don't know why it popped in my mind, but, like, Keenan Cornelius, like, I don't call him a social media influencer.
No.
He is, but that's not what you call him.
Not his title.
Because he's a fucking world champ.
Right.
He has things that he's accomplished. You point to those, and you say, well, because he's done those things, he does have an influence, and one of those ways that he has influence is through social media, but that's not the only way he has influence, and just being popular on social media isn't the reason that he has influence.
Right.
So
that's the distinction.
You know, that's someone who's really doing something, but you extract that one little piece out. And you're like, oh, I'm on social media and people like me, and that makes me a social media influencer.
Yep.
And it's like, wait a minute, man, that's not real. Like, it's not fucking real.
Yep.
So anyway, somehow, sorry, I hope Nick doesn't listen to this.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's all right, man. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But the point is, you know, they're putting together this group. Because apparently Instagram has changed the algorithm. And again, this is why it's so fucking important. It drives me nuts. This is the other thing I hate about social media influencers, is if you really want to have an influence on people, you build your email list. You don't build your fucking social media following. So that right there tells me that you're an idiot. You don't fucking understand how the game works. You're investing all your time, energy, and effort in building up and promoting someone else's platform. Because that's what Instagram is. It's a fucking platform. And so every time that you're devoting all your time and energy into building your Instagram following, what you're really doing is promoting Instagram and building their platform. And as soon as they decide either A, you've said something that you're not supposed to say, and now you're banned, or they change the algorithm. And so now all of a sudden all the people who are seeing your shit aren't seeing it anymore. You're at their fucking mercy. You don't play that fucking game. You get your own email list. You build your own email list. That's real influence. It's not sexy, right? Because you can't fucking, go check out my email list. And you know what I mean? There's not a number and some flashy thing you can show people where you can go to Instagram and be like, look, I got fucking 20,000 followers. Like, 19,000 of them don't even know who the fuck I am. And they got put on here by a bot, by some other idiot who's doing the same fucking game I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's like, so they changed the algorithm and now you're fucked. So you need to build your own platform. So right there, that's why social media influencers are just right out the box are fucking morons. And then, so you got to figure this out. So they've changed this algorithm. And so now, smaller influencers don't have the same impact. And so they put together this group where we're all supposed to like go in and like and share. And like every day I'm supposed to go and fucking spend like 10 plus minutes of my day going through and promoting and doing all this shit to other people's stuff that I normally wouldn't, right? We're rigging the system to try to get our stuff in this algorithm that Instagram's using now. And so, I don't know why I said I would do it. And, it was one of these spur of the moment things where I didn't really realize exactly what was going on. Because I haven't met her. I don't know her that well. Like, he's dated her and blah, blah, blah. So when he asked me if we want to be part of this group, and I was just like, sure, man, why not? And then I started getting into it, and I realized, like, oh, we're playing this fucking social media influencer bullshit game.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't want to be part of that, man. I don't want any part of that. So, but anyways, as I was looking at my phone, there's some message from them, like, oh, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm like, Jesus, that's right, I got to get out of this thing. So it was my reminder of like, fuck. But I hate that whole thing. And everyone knows it. They know they're playing a game. And they know they're playing a game. And they know they're playing a game. And everybody's playing this fucking game. But they all just play it. And it's like, what are you people doing, man? Like, you don't have to play it. Just because everyone else around you is playing this game, it does not mean that you have to play it too. Like, maybe you can step back and find another way to solve the problem. Like, what problem are you solving exactly? Anyways.
They're not solving any problems.
No, man. It drives me nuts. It's like, if you want to have influence, man, have influence. So here's some fucking influence. I'm showing Rob the cover of a book that Shiloh and I found.
Amish romances blossom on the island of Kauai.
Yes.
Amish Hawaiian adventures. What? This is a book?
It's a legit book in Barnes & Nobles, man. Yeah.
There's so many questions that are popping up in my head. First of all, is there Amish people in Hawaii?
No. They travel to Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I actually looked into it a little bit. I read the back of dude, I'm like, I gotta check. Like I said, it's fun. You go to the bookstore.
That's actually a book.
It's a book sitting on the fucking bookshelf, man. You would be shocked. If you went into Barnes & Nobles and wandered around for half an hour, it's entertaining.
There's actually books
man.
like that, huh?
Super entertaining. Yes. Yeah. You're like, what? There's just things and there's stuff that you never even knew. You don't even have to read the book.
It inspires me. I should write a book.
Well, yeah, okay. That's
if that can freaking be a book, I can write a book.
Dude, yeah, it's funny, man. Yeah, so Amish love tales in Hawaii. So both of them basically have to do with somebody going some chick from the Amish community, usually in Indiana. I don't know why it's like in Indiana.
There's a lot of Amish people in Indiana.
There you go.
That's
the
why.
Land of the nipple tassels.
That's probably why they have nipple tassels also.
Okay,
Different
cool.
conversation, but
Yeah.
it could be.
Yeah. So, anyways, for various reasons, it's come up in our Grumpy Guy class several times that in Indiana you can't have full nudity. So
They used to be. I don't know if the rules have changed.
At one point, nipple tassels or some sort of covers.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yes.
Indiana nipple tassels is now a coaching cue for us in Grumpy Guy.
Grumpy Guy.
Turn your nipple tassels. So, anyways, they go to Kauai in this case, which is ironic because that's where we live and where Kelly's from, and somehow meet someone and they, fall. There's this love, and then they have to like question whether they want to stay here with them or go back to their Amish community in Indiana. And so that's pretty much both stories are some variation of that, where you're on vacation on an island and love blossoms, and then you have to choose between love and your faith.
Riveting.
Apparently
I'm
it
sure.
is, because that's
I'm
not the
sure.
only one. There were several other books.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're written by non-Amish people too. That's the funny thing. I'm like, I was looking at it, and I'm pretty sure that the chicks are friends. Like, they have close friends, or they have some sort of connection with the Amish community, but they're not actually Amish themselves. So it's pretty funny that you got like non-Amish people writing Amish romance.
Didn't know that was a genre, but guess I'm glad I know that now. I'm not sure what to do with that information.
Nothing. You just file it away as like interesting.
Interesting.
Humans are interesting.
Yes, we are interesting creatures.
That's where I would file that
Yeah,
away.
for sure.
So yeah, man.
So what was the other? You said you had to show me two things?
No, that was
that
it.
was it. It was the
That was
social
what I was
media
showing
thing,
you.
and then
The
gotcha.
social media thing I knew was going to take me down a path, and I needed to pull up the first thing first, or I was going
So
to
you come
come back
back to it.
and be like, I don't know what I was doing. So, anyways, yeah.
Did you see the big jiu-jitsu related news that
No, what?
the Kainan Durate
Oh yeah.
got popped top for PEDs, and so they retroactively took his world's title?
Really?
Yeah.
So he tested positive there.
Yes.
Obviously.
And then the results just came out. So he ended up got suspended for a year. They stripped him of his title, and so that took place back in like June or whatever.
Yeah.
So he loses the first place. I think Leandro Lowe was second. So now he is by de facto the champ of Worlds of last year, and kind of can't compete in IBJJF until June of this year.
Huh.
So it's already coming up on a few more months.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here's the reason. Like, if he would have he pulled the whole tainted supplement
Yeah.
plea,
Right.
and so they bought it. They said they found the Osterine in his system, and so they said, okay, I guess we'll believe you. So instead of suspending you for 4 years, we'll suspend you for a year.
I heard that. Yeah.
For a year.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
I don't know, dude.
I feel like the IBJJF, because they do their own testing, right?
USADA. I think they use USADA.
Do they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I guess so. They gotta hire somebody.
Yeah,
I
they
guess
hire
they probably
somebody.
don't have somebody at IBJJF.
The guys
sampling blood samples and
the
shit.
guys that are doing repping the matches, they don't rotate in and out. Like, hey, you're keeping score. Oh, you're running samples today.
They're running samples today. It's a fucking...
I'm sure. Hopefully, that's not how it works.
No. So, yeah, their whole, like, testing thing just seems weird. Like, I mean, why do the results come out so fucking late afterwards?
Yeah, why does it take 6 months?
Yeah, it shouldn't take 6
plus months. The results
It's almost
come out.
like they're trying to decide what they want to do with the results.
Yeah, maybe they come out and they got to have hearings and appeals, and they don't make it public info for a long time. So maybe that's the delay that we're seeing at the end result. That's probably a safe assumption.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it makes you think about a lot of things. Like, one, I would love one of these guys just to be like, yeah, I trained my fucking ass off, so I take some juice to help me recover, and I got caught. I'm so sick of hearing the tainted supplement. Like,
thing,
come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, dude. It's because, like, to compete and train at that level, that high a level, like you are doing unhealthy shit. You are training hard as fuck, beating your body up. like it's probably healthier to be on some sort of PED, so you recover better, so you're not overtrained, so you're not getting injured. And I almost guarantee almost every one of these guys is on something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I almost guarantee. You know, it's Seth Daniels. I did an interview with some outlet. Like, and the headline of the article was by Seth was, "I love being on PEDs." And he's saying the same thing I am. Like, yeah, they're all fucking on it. He's like, I take it. He's like, so I can train my ass off. He's like, yeah. He's like, that's what we don't test for him. He's like, it's not gonna make a huge difference, you know. He's like, you still put me up against somebody that's technically superior, they're gonna beat me. It's not gonna make me better at arm bars. It just allows me to train harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know, that's kind of where I like reside on it. If you do it, the problem is I think a lot of these guys probably aren't doing it intelligently. They just get their hands on whatever they're taking and just take it. They're not testing it, because like if you're gonna take testosterone, for example, to do it intelligently, you know, you should go get your levels checked prior, and then if you're gonna go on a cycle of whatever you're taking, you need to have your testosterone levels checked every 3 months, I would say. It depends on how much you take and how often, to do it healthy, because you're going to do your body long-term damage. If you're just fucking putting a needle in your ass and taking pills, whatever form you got, like, you're going to do some long-term damage. You really could. But if you monitor it and you don't let your, you know, say I'm just speaking from TRT example, like testosterone replacement therapy. If you're just taking that and you're not letting your levels get astronomical, you're not jacking them up to the 12 or 1500 range, you're going to be fine long term. But most guys aren't doing a test. They're just, getting your hands on some shit and fucking taking it. You know, I feel great. Well, yeah, because you got fucking 1800. Your T levels are 1800. Yeah, of course you feel fucking great.
Yeah,
I can train hard every day, twice a day. Well, yeah, but once you stop taking that, you're fucksville.
Yeah.
Because your body's not going to produce it anymore.
Yeah, man, I'd be curious. Because, I mean, at this point, steroids aren't a mystery. I mean, people know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
It's probably not that hard to find a legitimate, probably pretty well tested, regimen.
Yeah.
And so I think that, I think it's a lot safer, and I think people are probably doing it a lot more intelligent. Because I remember, dude, back in our day, like, it literally was, you couldn't find any fucking... I remember Dan Duchesne's, underground steroid handbook. It was like, you know what I mean? Like, there was no legitimate information. It was like the fledgling days of the internet, and like, dude, before that, if you want to know how to take steroids, like, you better hope the dude that you were getting it from at your gym
knew what he was talking about.
Uh-huh. And there was a lot of cases where they didn't, and and steroids really are, as far as like performance enhancing goes, they're less than 100 years of use. I'm pretty sure that like hormones and shit like that, but like if you look at it, I think it was the mid 1900s, call it like 1900s, like it was so fucking long ago, right? But it was like 1950, give or take a decade, where you had weightlifting coaches starting to like use them with their athletes and just like give them out. Like there was a point when they were legal. Like they haven't always been illegal. So like you had you athletes who were like, oh shit, this shit works, and they started taking them, and then God, forget the whole nonsense that gets it illegal. But that's what creates the environment that we have today. But it's not that long ago, right? It's less than 100 years ago, really, that people were getting serious about using steroids for athletic performance. That is not that long, man. Like, people had no fucking clue what they were doing just 50 years ago. And so today, obviously you look at just all the steroid scandal, man. Like reading, I've read a couple books. I've read the one on, what's his name, Tyler Hamilton. He was a teammate of Lance Armstrong, and he had a book that just detailed all the fucking blood doping and all the crazy shit that went on in cycling. And then just the whole like Barry Bonds thing. I read that book, and then the A-Rod one. They had that funny the kids doing it. Yeah, man. But like, dude, that Tony Bosch guy, that was not the smartest guy in the world, but he was able to figure out some legitimate things to help enhance performance and keep things from getting caught. Like, You know, it wasn't until they pissed off that one dude over like a couple grand that brought the whole thing down, you know? And anyway, so the point is, I think that I think a lot of people at high levels do performance enhancing drugs, and I think that it's way more sophisticated than, you know, probably most people give it credit for. I mean, I'd even say like most of those guys competing, like they're probably not just they've done some research, or they're relying on someone that's done some research. Like they're getting some advice, you know, like they're not. I remember when I did fucking steroids, and it was like, what can we get? Decadrablin and Primabol and Depot, right? That's what we could get in Greece, right?
That's what you use.
That's what you got, yeah. And so it was like, okay, well, one day we'll take a shot of this, and they'll wait a day, and the next day we'll take. I mean, we were like literally making shit up, and because where the fuck else were you going to get information, right? So, like, I'll bet they're not doing that.
Right, it's not that ignorant, but I don't think it's. I still don't. I think at the highest levels, yes. I'm talking like you talk pro athletes. Yeah, those guys, like you know, NFL. NBA, whatever.
If they're cheating, they're hiring people to help them cheat at that level.
At the jiu-jitsu pro level?
No, but it's still more intelligent. I'm telling you,
it's more intelligent than when we were kids.
Right.
But I still, most of them, there's not a
being an idiot today is probably like would have qualified as a pretty goddamn fucking intelligent way to do this 50, 60 years ago.
Okay, I'll agree with that, but that still doesn't mean they're not doing it. That they are doing it intelligently. It depends on what filter you run it through.
It's a spectrum.
It's a spectrum.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think that the unintelligent doing it unintelligently is more intelligent today,
correct,
than it used to be. And so, like a lot of these negative side effects and a lot of these things that people associated with doing it unintelligently is really associated with doing it like. Completely, like I was doing it unintelligently. Like that is where you fuck yourself up. Like doing it unintelligently today, there's probably still some guardrails that keep you from fucking yourself up too terribly bad. Of course, you're always gonna have your people who are like, you know, well, fucking 50's good, 100's better, and 200 is the fucking greatest. Like
I raise my I'm that type of guy.
So you're always gonna have that kind of unintelligent use. And yeah, I think that type is probably more typical of what you find in the jiu-jitsu scene than what you do at like a higher, more sophisticated level like NFL.
Because they got the money.
Yeah.
And the people behind it.
Yeah, man. You got tens of millions of dollars on the line. Like, dude, you're a jiu-jitsu athlete. Like, you're not sniffing. Dude, I mean, there's people whose game checks, right, in the fucking NBA or like NFL or something like that, like they're, because that's the funny thing, like they get paid per game. Like you forget that, like they literally do. They get a game check every week. They get paid because this is your salary, and this breaks down to this per game per week, and that's how they, you know, if you get suspended without pay, right? So it's not just I'm missing these games. I'm missing those game checks. Like you're not getting paid for those games. So that's just a really weird thing. Like, yeah, you're still getting a weekly paycheck. It's just for like $10 million.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, that's, you know, Seth brought that up in his interview. To what fact? He was talking about, he's like, these guys, he's like, who cares about the IBJJF? Like, yeah, if they get tested, they pop out, they can compete all the other places, and they're not making squat for money.
Right.
They make
Jeff pays them nothing.
Let's say they win all the tournaments or something in IBJJF, like, what do they make, 10 grand a year or something?
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, you have to look at the purses if they win the absolutes, all this, but nothing. It doesn't, like, they're in the negative.
Yeah.
You know, it's costing them money to compete in all these IBJJF tournaments.
Yeah.
He's like, so it's kind of fucking silly.
Yeah, it's a weird, but you know, the value is the value in winning an IBJJF tournament is in the name value,
right?
Versus, you know, some other organization that may pay better, but you're like, yeah, I won this tournament, and you know, just your average jiu-jitsu enthusiast or whatever. Like, they know IBJJF. Like, we've talked about it before. It's a weird thing.
It is a weird thing.
You know? Like, yeah, if you look at it, like, it's this weird symbiotic relationship where, like, the athletes need IBJJF. And, again, like, you know, you look back at a time, like, dude, IBJJF, they're kind of like, I don't know, like unions, like work unions, right? Like, at one point, they really did serve a truly legitimate purpose. Like, there was a time when you needed, like, there wasn't an organization that was trying to make, you know, run good like you've talked about it, man. Like, you used to like go to IBJJF tournaments because you knew they'd be well run, because a local tournament before that was like a shit show. And now you can find really well run local tournaments. And so IBJJF isn't, it's not this stark contrast between what they were doing and trying to do. And man, to give them credit, they did it, right? Like they stepped up and they did create the organization, and they did, step the game up for tournaments and things like that. But so now they've got themselves, it's kind of like, Facebook, right? Like Facebook grew to popularity, and now it's like everyone needs Facebook, but if Facebook was back then what it is today, it wouldn't have grown in popularity to this point.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's happened with the IBJJF. Like, if it was like, if things were like this when it started, it never would have gotten to this point. But it's gotten to this point, and now it's like, okay, but you guys are almost kind of antiquated. Like, why are we still so fucking relying on you? It drives us nuts that we're relying on you. And, but we still keep spending money on Facebook ads. So,
Yep.
There you go. Because people are there. People go to IBJJF. But, dude, the world title swapping thing, that's interesting. That's super interesting because, I mean, old boy, how you say his name? Kenyon?
I think it's Kanan because it's Kaynan.
Kanan? Okay, yeah.
I believe it's how it's spelled.
Yeah. He beat people on the way to that title match with Leandro Lowe.
Right.
So
does everybody move up a slot?
Right, but it's like somebody else would have faced
somebody else
in the finals.
Right, and you know as well as I, like MMA math or jiu-jitsu math doesn't work. Just because like Kanan beat opponent A, well, if opponent A would have won, he might have gone against this guy in the second round, and it could have been a different outcome there.
Right.
It doesn't
The
all
whole
translate.
bracket would have changed.
It could have drastically changed.
The whole bracket would have changed.
Yep.
And so to just like, take him out and then I guess like third place moves up to second.
I don't know. All I saw, I didn't look into it. I read the article that just said Leandro Lowe was second, and they stripped him of his title. So I believe they now, in the record books, Leandro Lowe is the champion of 2019 Worlds.
It's funny because I'm sure you're probably, or maybe you're not, like peripherally aware of the. There's something similar going on in baseball, where they found out that the Houston Astros
beating on the trash can and the camera in the center field stealing signals.
Yeah, so they won a World Series doing that. And it's this weird thing because like baseball won't do that. Like they've already said, like if someone gets stripped of the title, that's just going to be a vacated year.
Right.
We're not going to reward or say that the Dodgers, who they beat, are now World Series champions. And so, it's this weird thing where they've punished the club, they punished some of the higher ups. They didn't punish the players, and pretty much because they didn't want to like go to battle with the players union over it. They just knew that it's just automatic. If you issue a punishment on a player, the players union is there to defend them and make sure that even if they are guilty of it, that the punishment is fair, right? So there's going to be some friction and feedback no matter what. So they didn't do anything to the players. They just punished the people that they had control of, and then they said, but while we're admitting that they cheated, or saying they cheated, and obviously it gave them an advantage because we're punishing them over it, but we're not going to vacate, we're not going to strip them of their title. And people in baseball, like the players are obviously like, what the fuck, man? Like this doesn't make any sense. And but it's kind of similar, right? It's like you don't want a vacated title. Like IBJJF does not want the record books to have 2019 vacated, no world champion.
Right.
You know what I mean? That just looks bad in your record books. So you don't want that. So it's just interesting that the two different ways that these organizations, because it's the same problem. You found out that your champion cheated. Now, what do? Because you don't want a vacated title in your record books. So how do you handle it? And like baseball chose to like just ignore the advantage and let them keep their title, and IBJJF stripped them and then bumped one dude up, kind of ignoring how really everything would have changed. That's why baseball is not going to, that's why they said they won't change it, because like everything would have changed.
Right.
The whole thing would have changed. You can't just say the Dodgers would have won if they weren't cheating. Like, you have no clue what would have happened if the Astros weren't doing what they were doing from day one. And so, you know, yeah, what do you do, man?
It's a funny thing. It's a fun, you know, it's, you try to put yourself, talking from the baseball scandal perspective there, like, put yourself in the player's shoes. Like, it gets brought to light that your team's cheating, and you know it's wrong. Like, dude, to put you in an like how does that conversation get, you know, broached? You know, like, I mean, do they have a team meeting? You know what I mean? Like, hey, here's the deal: when we beat on a trash can 3 times, you know, a fastball is coming.
Right.
You know, whatever they did, they had it was a team-wide system.
Yeah. Included, like, yeah, people out, it wasn't just players too.
Yeah.
They were.
It was the whole. Everybody knew. Everybody was in on it.
Yeah.
No one was like, "Hey, I don't feel good about this. Like, this isn't cool."
Yeah.
But nope. Everybody was just like, "All right."
Compartmentalize it enough, and you get away with it enough, and you know. And then there's the old. I mean, baseball is notorious for it. Like, dude, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Well, there was something to do with a bat recently too in the World Series. There was some sort of like illegal taping job.
Dude, it could be. I mean,
there's been a few things like I don't follow.
I remember one of the best examples years and years ago. Derek Jeter, I forget where it was, but a pitch was super close, and man, it looked like it hit him. You know, one of those that like grazed him, and he's like acting it up, man, acting it up. And then they go back and they check the replay. He gets awarded first base, and they go back and they check the replay, and fucking thing didn't even touch him. No.
The Lambeer flop.
Kind of, yeah. So it's like, but you know, here's Derek Jeter. He's like this pillar of, you know, like everything you want your ball player hero to be. Like, he doesn't cheat. He doesn't, you know, he's like has this higher standard, right? And yet here he is cheating. That's fucking cheating. If you didn't get hit by that ball and you are faking like you got hit by that ball because you know that if you can sell it, you're going to get first base.
Right.
You know, and it's this weird thing in baseball. Like, they really do have this code of, like, you know, and that's where I kind of like, you know, where it's a slippery slope they live on. It is, man. They all cheat. They're all fucking pushing the lines, trying to cheat.
Yeah, and it is a slippery slope because...
And they're proud of it. They say it. It's like, yeah, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. We all know. We're all fucking trying to do it.
Yeah, because in that instance, like, I don't morally object to that because I see that as a Lambeer flop.
Right.
You know.
But I'm just saying it's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope because using a camera in center field to steal signals,
right.
That's a big leap, and that's obviously wrong. But when someone follows you in basketball and you play it up, and you know, like I'm referring to Bill Lambeer and his flops, you know, he's notorious for it. It's part of the game. I see that.
Right, exactly.
You know,
I agree.
Where's that line?
Where's that line?
It's
not like you have this sport where there is this, like, no, we tolerate no cheating. There is a stark line in the sand. You know, anyone who cheats is frowned upon and shamed out of the game.
Right.
You know, it's not like that is the culture in baseball. And then this happened, and you're like, how did this happen? It's kind of like, because, all right, how about someone's on second base, right? Like, you got one of your players on second base, and you're up to bat, and he's looking in at the signs and trying to see if he can signal you to let him know what he thinks he sees. Is that cheating?
I know, it's
right. So then it was like, well, they're using a camera, and they're so it's
they're stopping that. Like,
yeah. So, you know, again, yes, they definitely crossed the line, but you can kind of see how when that line got crossed, it was crossed in this fuzzy way where maybe people were like, and then by the time they got to the end, you're looking back and like, Jesus Christ, we went way past that line. But it's not like you went from here to here in one fell swoop.
It was a gradual downhill slide.
Yeah, like
to using a camera.
When someone suggested it, you're not automatically like, dude, that's cheating. We don't do that.
Right.
You know, the thing is like,
that would make
could we do that? Could we pull that off? How do we do that while not? You know what I mean? Like that's more the conversation, I bet, in baseball when someone comes up with something like that. It's not like, that's cheating. No way. It's like, that'd be interesting. See if we can get away with that. So, but anyways, it's a interesting way to handle having your champions cheat either way. So, you know, it's like that in jiu-jitsu. I mean, everybody knows you're not supposed to be doing steroids, bro. Right? It's cheating.
It's cheating.
Technically, it's cheating. So, but everyone knows, like, it's fucking super common. Even if it's just like TRT, like testosterone, yeah, like that's steroids, man.
That's steroids technically.
Yeah, anything that is like elevating your
exogenous.
Yeah, hormone levels above what they would normally be, then you are
technically cheating.
Yes, that's so. But everybody just kind of. It's kind of like the old days of fucking bodybuilding, right? Or like pro wrestling, when everyone's like, oh, like they're trying to pretend like, no, this is real. We're not cheating. We're not taking steroids.
Right.
And it's just like, dude, come on, Joe Weider, quit fucking trying to sell us this shit. Like, we like these freaks. Like, I want to see these fucking beasts go at each other. So, like, let's just cut the facade. But
maybe that's my solution instead of this. From our last week's conversation of creative addiction, overtraining, not sleeping enough. Maybe I just need to get on the sauce.
That's what I said.
That'd solve all my problems.
Yeah. I mean, it would temporarily. There's still, yeah. On a long enough timeline, man. That's really what a lot of this stuff is like you're doing something that's unsustainable.
Right.
And so you're trying to see if you can do something that'll push out the timeline of sustainability. Like, and that's really what it is. That's really what it is. Like, that's a lot of what our recovery, nutrition, all that stuff is on some level is like, we're trying to push out how far this is sustainable, because it's not sustainable on a long enough timeline. Mm-hmm. Like, no one gets out of here alive. So, but eventually though, you still have to take some naps or
sleep some more.
I think sleep's, especially as you get older, man. It's just tough. I hate to say it, but it's not just a number, right? Like, it is, but it's not. Like, your body's different, and like sleep becomes way more important. Like, I don't know how the fuck I got away with the amount of sleeps I did.
I know, dude. I look back at the things I did when I was younger. It's like, good Lord, like, how did I do that?
Yeah. It's fucking, I don't know. So, I got two things. I know we got to wrap up here because you got
about
work
15
coming
minutes
up.
or so, yeah.
So, one, we're watching The Simpsons. That's on Disney Plus. And so, man, the first season, like, I don't know where they got. There's a line where The Simpsons kind of stopped getting as smart and just being a little bit more
slapsticky.
Yeah. Man, those first, like, fucking 5, 6, 7 seasons of that show were just so brilliant, man. Like, so smart. And, but anyways, we're watching that. And, they always have their scene where they come running into the living room.
Right.
And, man, in season 1, they came running in, and they had no couch.
Really?
The Simpsons were ahead of the curve. Of course, they looked confused, but I was like, Simpsons did it. Simpsons already got rid of their couch. They got the couchless living room, Rob.
Yes. Starting the trend.
So, anyways, I thought you'd appreciate The Simpsons.
I always appreciate The Simpsons.
Beating you to that, but...
damn it.
All right, so... We'll end with a little Jeopardy style game.
Oh.
So, I was reading this stupid article on rudest things you can do in the gym. Like at the gym working out.
A regular Gold's Gym.
Yeah, just going to the Gold's Gym, your purple fucking Planet Fitness, whatever, man. Okay. So, if you're going to name off like some of the rudest things people can do at the gym, like what would you say?
Oh, there's a lot of them.
I know, man.
I can start rattling them off. I'll have to rank them later, but
no, I don't think they were ranked, but it's just like
not racking your weights.
Yep, that was one of them.
Sweating all over the equipment, not cleaning it up.
Not cleaning it up, and that was one of them.
Old dudes walking around naked in the locker room.
Yeah, they didn't have that one.
People. I don't know if this is rude, but to me it's disgusting. Like just walking around barefoot in like the saunas and the steam rooms and the pools. No sandals, just fucking barefoot. I mean, it's more dirty for them. Than
it's not really rude.
It's not rude. But it's just like, come on now. Those are probably the top ones.
Yeah.
But not racking the weights and sweating on shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Those are some of the top ones.
Yeah, like one they were like taking too long on equipment.
Yeah,
and
just hanging out.
Yeah, they're like in this age of iPhones, everyone just hangs out in between sets, and sometimes they just totally just sit there the whole time.
Yeah.
So that was definitely one. One was like it was like selfie etiquette. And they were like, you know, it was like a whole little section. Like one, which is funny, you don't think about it until you think about it, but like, don't take selfies in the locker room. Just like, dude, it's like people are in there fucking changing. Like, this is a locker room. Like, you shouldn't be in there taking pictures, period, in a locker room, right? But like, the fact that you have to explain this to people is just really weird. Like, how fucking self-absorbed are you to not be able to recognize that pulling out your phone and taking a picture, even if it's a fucking selfie, in a locker room is just, like, rude. Like, that's a social faux pas, motherfucker, for sure. This is a private fucking area that you should not be using recording devices in. I mean, dude, they got fucking rules about when you can use cameras in NFL locker rooms.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not... Yeah, so anyways, that was one. But they were talking about how, you know, when you're taking a selfie in the gym, you don't want to make it a big deal. You want to try to not have a whole lot of people in the background because it's rude to them. Maybe they don't want to be seen. And then they were pointing out, like, you also don't want to be faking like you're taking a selfie so that you can get a picture of someone else,
videotape somebody
and
else.
fucking, like, body shame them, or they called it selfie shame people, like using your selfies to fucking shame other people in the background. I was like, Jesus, dude, what is that? I never even, like, thought about that.
Well, you want to, because there's this YouTube channel that I love. I think the title of it's like OE Fitness. I don't know what OE stands for. But most of his videos are Gym Idiots, are the titles of it.
Right.
And it's just all the knucklehead and the ridiculous shit you see in the gym.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's so entertaining.
Oh, that's entertaining, yeah.
But that's how most people are getting these videos.
Right.
They're kind of, you can tell they're kind of mimicking, they're taking a selfie, but they're recording on the down low.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, then again, that's one of those
It's not
slippery
cool.
slopes.
It's not
where
cool,
like,
but...
Some people need it, right? Like, there's definitely... I've seen... Dude, we've all seen... Like, dude, some of those people, like, no. These guys need to be called out.
Yeah.
Like, public shaming is still a valid form of keeping people in some sort of fucking line.
Right.
I don't think that getting away from shame as a motivation tool as a society is good. So... But, again, it's a slippery slope. It's like, so, you know, this guy's being an idiot, but then you got this guy over here who can't figure out where the pin goes on the machine, and you're making fun of him. Like, is that what you want to do?
Right.
So, it's funny, man. Dude, the gym is such a different environment than the jiu-jitsu gym. I mean, when you walk in the jiu-jitsu gym, for the most part, I mean, you always have your knuckleheads who think they know what's going on. But that's the problem. You walk into a Gold's gym, and you've read like one issue of fucking Muscle and Fitness, which I'm fucking dating myself. I don't even know what the kids read today to think they know what the fuck they're doing. You know, and you think you're an expert.
Right.
And I used to tell people this all the time. It's like, dude, you wouldn't read like one issue of Car and Driver and then go and try and work on your car.
Right.
You know, it's kind of idiotic to think that you know what's going on when it comes to working out. It's a really weird thing.
I guess that'd be another rude thing, is unsolicited advice.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be...
I've encountered that a few times.
Yeah, I don't think they had that down, but yeah, that would definitely be... The unsolicited advice is always funny.
Yeah.
Especially when it's obvious that they don't know what the fuck they're talking
Right.
about. But,
Sorry.
No, you're right, though. You get these people that think they know what's going on, and they come in, and it's like, you're not in a jiu-jitsu gym, like, you're trying to build people's self-image to the point they stick it out long enough to figure out what's going on. And there's just no, in the fitness world, man, like it's just not the thing. Like, you come in and it is like, even like motivation on some level, like your trainer, like, come on, work hard. You know, that's like the nicest thing they'll say. Like, a lot of people, like, you know what I mean? Like, motivation through like shame and through like fear and all these things. And it's like, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Like, you gotta encourage people. Got to make them feel like, not only Planet Fitness sort of way, like, it needs to be legitimate, right? Like,
right.
There's a difference between trying to create a supportive environment and creating an environment free of what you consider to be judgment, right? That's not the same thing. I create a supportive environment, I create a judgment-free environment. That's not going to be the same fucking thing.
Right.
You know, people think, they're like, well, why not? It's the same. You know, it's like, no. Totally different mindset. Like, I'm trying to approach this from a positive place of finding something, you know, of helping people. And here I'm trying to, like, weed out what I consider to be the bad behavior. And that's a totally different mindset when I'm trying to look at people and be like, you're doing this wrong, and you're doing this wrong, and you're doing this wrong. So it's, the fitness world is just fucking backwards on that shit.
It is backwards. Well, man, that could be a whole podcast in itself as to why it's backwards. You know, just there's very low barrier to entry.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of checks and balances. You know, you can just stroll in and pay your membership and...
Dude, even to be a coach, right? Like, even in jiu-jitsu, like, you know, you can try to open a gym as a white belt, but good luck, right? Like, there's the ranking system automatically, like, tells people, like, man, this person has a certain level of experience or whatever. It's like, dude, you can get someone who... they crack me up, man. These kids in their fucking early 20s, right? They just got certified a year or two ago, and it's like they're social media influencers.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I'm an expert on this shit. It's like, dude, you're an idiot. You are fucking people up right now and you don't even realize it. It's going to take you 10 years to get this shit figured out and realize all the things you've been doing wrong to get to where you're actually good at this. Sounds like jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Right? But that's not the approach, man. You come in and again, no one can know. Right? And that's why, like, you know, jiu-jitsu, you don't have these weird social media influencers in jiu-jitsu because it's like, wait a minute, what's your fucking credentials?
Because if they're full of shit, it gets exposed.
Exactly.
Pretty easy,
man. If you're full of shit, exactly. You don't have to just look good. You have to be able to, at least have earned a fucking belt up to a point, right? Like, even if your only thing is like, dude, I'm a black belt or whatever, it's like, dude, you've at least put in the time and energy and effort to get to that point. So that makes you more than just some influencer, right? Like, so yeah, it's the fitness world is just it's
a funny thing.
It's a funny thing, man. It's a really interesting thing. But anyways, that's why people should do jiu-jitsu.
It's better for you.
It is better for you. It's better for your fucking health and mental spirit and getting real life skills and everything, man. This new the trend of like spin classes, man. It's like, okay, everybody's sitting in a dark room spinning nowhere. You're going nowhere. Like, what are you fucking learning? What skill are you building right now? Breathing hard? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what's this going to transfer over to? Nothing.
Hey, at least they're doing something, though.
I guess
at least they're doing something.
You know,
if that's the only thing they're doing, at least they're out there doing something.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can sit here and knock it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I try to be positive.
That's good. We'll fucking
end right there.
We'll end on a positive note.
Hey, at least they're doing something.
At least they're doing something. I know.
Yeah.
No, you're right. They are. It is just they're being led in the wrong direction with what they need to be doing. So.
Agreed.
Oh, dude, how about Dan John giving me a shout out?
That was bad. I didn't see. What was he just doing, like a Facebook Live thing or something?
He does on his Instagram and Facebook. He just posts videos. He does Q&A, like people write him in with questions, and so he's just answering questions.
Okay.
And so he posts like one question a day, and then at the end of the week he like has them all on a podcast.
Okay.
And so yeah, he was just answering. Somebody's asking him about enduro mountain biking, and
He's pointed them in your direction.
Yeah, you know, he gave him some answer. You'll get some good advice, but he was just his point was like, you know, let experts do their thing.
Know your lane and stay in it.
Right.
And then if you may have some insight on something, but if you know somebody that's better at it, like
yes,
don't be afraid to be like, hey, this guy can answer the question better. Speaking of that, I want to watch that Facebook Live video that Joel Jameson put out about HRV.
I watched it.
Was it good?
It's good. You should watch it.
Yeah, I want to watch it. It's basically the summary I got when he prior to him doing it was like, hey, I've got a lot of these questions. He's like, so I'm going to do like a Facebook Live answering a lot of these frequently asked
You'll
questions.
like it. Yeah. It'll fill in a lot of blanks as to like why and just kind of what's going on
with HRV.
Yeah, so you'll.
I figured it'd be good for me.
Yeah,
a little education for myself.
Yep. No, it was. I've seen him present on it before. It's real similar to what I think he does. It's real similar to what he presented on in Seattle when I went there last year. But yeah, no, it's definitely really good. I mean I'm glad you brought that up, man, because HRV is one of those things that it's getting more popular, but just because it's getting more popular doesn't mean that people are actually using it right. And so you're getting a lot of, so him presenting on it explained to me like why Morpheus is really the best way still to do it, and just all of the reasons that just like tracking your HRV throughout the day or just trying to track it all night while you're sleeping and things like that just aren't really practical. And if you look at the actual science and application of it, you see there's a lot of misapplied or misapplication of the HRV concept. So I think it'd be good, definitely, people educating themselves on some level on HRV so you can be an educated consumer, because you're going to find more and more people trying to sell you something based on HRV training or HRV monitoring as we move forward, because it is very effective, but you got to be careful you're not falling for a fucking buzzword as opposed to like actual applicable stuff. So
I'm gonna try to watch that tonight when I get home.
Cool. Yeah, man. We're right on.
Call that a wrap.
Yeah, you gotta get to work.
I gotta go to work.
That's right. Survived your Silverton adventures.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
I know. We talked about when you got here, man. That was
a good time, dude. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Great experience.
It's good to do that, man. Get out and just do something really wild and adventurous every once in a while.
I'm gonna do that more often. At least once a season. I'm like, to have to try to go back and do it again.
Yeah. I know. I need to do something like that with riding this year. It's been a while since I've had like some good, just grand adventure riding. So I used to do those things all the time. But yeah, so cool. This summer, man, we'll
all right,
some shit going.
Let's call it a wrap.
All right, buddy.
See you.
Sounds good. See you.
Thank you for listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Thank you all for listening. You can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It really does help and will allow us to keep putting out episodes. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, hit us up at grumpyguybjj@gmail.com. Also, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com, and get signed up for podcast updates and get our free BJJ Improvement Starter Kit. That's it for now. So get on the mat, train hard, and talk to you all next week.
With a permanent rep, a hermit now, boom. Doggy stool, foggy, cool, got a froggy outside Molly, dude. Melvin, Colin, Daisy, dude. Hanging by the lace of their shoes. No trace of the tools. Shaped in your face, fuck the rules. Snooze, you lose. One eye always open, in times two. No clue, but soon a brief monsoon might give you a view to choose. Stay tuned, include, won't conclude. To the end is near, beware there's consequences, but what you do.